shipboard operations and procedures of cargo handling. The master is responsible for the safety of the cargo from the port of loading to the discharge port as per the agreed contract of carriage. It is also the master's responsibility to ensure that the cargo offered for shipment is properly cared for during the voyage. This includes ensuring that the cargo is properly stowed, handled, secured, and monitored during the voyage. Depending on the duration of the voyage and the prevailing weather encountered, periodic checks should be carried out on the cargo lashings to ensure that the lashings have not slackened due to vibration. Regular rounds of cargo decks should be carried out to ensure that no flammable or hazardous liquids have leaked from cargo. Implementation of any special requirements which have been advised by the shipper, such as temperature monitoring and control, are also responsible of the carrier. Cargo stowage. The movement, stowage, and securing of cargo should be supervised by a responsible ship's officer. Loading procedures should be adhered to, and cargo should only be moved if directed by a ship's officer or a person trained in a vehicle deck operations. Communication channels between the ships and stevedores should be agreed prior to loading, and drivers should be warned of potential hazard. A high-pitched whistle may be useful for attracting attention on the cargo decks. Generally, stowage should only be in the fore and aft direction. If stowage is necessary, then this should be discussed with the master. Stowage should not obstruct any equipment. Controls for access doors, access to sounding pipes, stairways, or controls for deck scupper valves. Where there is a low degree of frictional resistance, as found with truck vehicles stowed on deck, special consideration is required, and softboard, plywood, or rubber mats should be deployed prior to being secured.
Cargo security. The following notes provide some guidance as to some of the important considerations when securing cargo. Cargo should always be secured in accordance with the approved Cargo Securing Manual or CSM. Cargo securing equipment should be well maintained and certified as per requirements of CSM or SMS. Vehicles should be properly parked, the engine switched off, the brakes applied prior to being secured. Wheels should also be checked. Cargo securing preferably be secured in the fore and aft direction. Lashing and vehicles should all be under equal tension. Special consideration should be made for large vehicles, truck vehicles, and any cargo with high center of gravity with additional lashing applied. Consideration should be given to weight of cargo dimension, expected sea condition, and stowage position of the ship. Cargo will be subjected to higher acceleration. Fragile cargo should be stowed towards the center line of the ship and lower deck. When cargo is loaded at the ends of the ship and the upper cargo decks, additional precautions should be taken when lashing to minimize the large forces that will act on cargo in heavy sea due bleaching. Securing should be complete prior to leaving berth.
Ship's equipment. The following guidance notes refer to the use of the ship's equipment. Only authorized, properly trained, and competent personnel should operate ship's equipment such as for movable decks, car platforms, and cargo ramps. Equipment used for cargo operation should be fit for purpose, tested, certified, and not subjected to more than its certified safe working load or SWL. Loose equipment should be stowed and lashed prior to departure. Emergency equipment to handle leaks and spillages should be available on all car decks. Cargo securing gear should be of sufficient strength for cargo carried.
Ventilation. Vehicle decks should be adequately ventilated at all times This may require ventilation fans to be operated continuously during short passages to remove the accumulation of hazardous gases and fumes. Officers should pay particularly attention during loading or discharge when there may be an accumulation of fumes on the vehicle decks. In addition, the carriage of flammable gases or liquids will require additional ventilation.
Marine communication involves ship-to-ship and ship-to-shore communication. Over the years, the ways in which seamen communicate has changed drastically. Marine communication was addressed through the use of onboard system via shore station and satellites. VHF radio made ship-to-ship communication a reality, and shortly thereafter digital selective calling allowed for greater communication capabilities including remote controls commands that could transmit and receive distress signals, place orient safety calls and put out routine messages. Today, DSC controllers are often integrated with the VHF radio in line with updates regarding SOLAS requirements. Repair of damage incurred during loading and unloading. If damage to the ship's structure or equipment occurs during loading or unloading, it shall be reported by the terminal representative to the master and if necessary repaired. If the damage could impair the structural capability or watertight integrity of the hull or the ship's essential engineering system, the administration of the flag state or an organization recognized by it and acting on its behalf shall be informed by the terminal representative and the master. The decision as to whether immediate repair is necessary or whether it can be deferred shall be taken by the administration of the flag state or the organization recognized by it and acting on its behalf. Where immediate repair is considered necessary, it shall be carried out to the satisfaction of the administration of the flag state or the organization recognized by it and acting on its behalf before the ship leaves to the port.
General safety precautions. Crew working on vehicle deck should wear appropriate personal protective equipment or PPE at all times, including high visibility vests. The risk of fire on the vehicle deck is a real possibility given the nature of the cargo. Ship's crew should enforce the no smoking rules and ensure that signage is clearly visible. In addition, the location of firefighting equipment should be clearly marked and all apparatus checked on a regular basis. The stowage of cargo should not obstruct the access to fire hydrants of firefighting equipment at any time during loading or discharge. Lighting on the vehicle decks and accesses should be checked regularly. Any spillage of either oil or fuel from vehicles should be cleaned up immediately. If necessary, cargo operations should be suspended until the area is considered safe.